Now, it's been about a minute since we've seen that video, am I right, guys? What's up, everybody? Hello and welcome to the Corsair Cup. You're watching this on BaseTradeTV with Rifkin and Zombie Grub. Whichever way I'm supposed to point, I fucked that up. Anyways, we'll be getting into games here shortly. We have the first match already locked down. I'm just testing a couple things, because if you guys didn't see my Twitter earlier, the reason we're a little smidgen late is just because everything was breaking on me. I had no problem doing things last night. Go to turn on XSplit and suddenly like 5 things need updates. And they're all causing each other to crash. It was like a good way to start my day. How are you doing, Zombie Grub?
I'm okay. You know, it's 2 in the morning, but that's okay.
Dude, because I'm actually gonna need a minute or two here. Regale us with tales of the StarCraft Remastered. We all saw your Twitter. You were there.
Yeah, that's right. I was there. Yeah. Yes, I haven't cast in a while. But yeah, the biggest thing I did definitely was go to the Remastered event. And it was pretty cool. It was really long though. Like they definitely, I think rumor was that they added the last 3 matches like kind of last second. The one with Flash Shade on Bisu, and it kind of felt that way because the thing like started at 8 and didn't actually start until 9. And just like 6 games, well actually 6 plus 3, 9 games of Brood War is just a really long time. They're lucky it went as short as it did because the first 4 games were actually like, you know, not that good. But yeah, other than that, it was fun, and it was of course awesome seeing all the old guys again. I got to meet Gur, you know, for a very short time.
Gur, like Invader Zim?
Yeah, exactly, like Invader Zim. No, like a super famous original OSL winner. Like he's more famous than Brood War ever really made him, but Brood War got him to Korea. He won you know, big tournaments, first guy to do it, first foreigner, you know, to do it, and then no one really repeated it for ever actually. And he just kind of was like, okay, I won something, and then he went and did his own thing, played on poker, got famous, is now on like a, you know, really huge Korean talk show, and he's just a really famous dude. So when he walks into the after party, like literally the waiters and the servers and like the chefs, you know, in the back all had to poke their head out, like, you know, just like, oh my god, it's this guy, oh my god.
Real?
Because he's actually that famous. You know, they'd run up to him and get like group selfies. That's cool. He was like trying to go to the bathroom and he just like couldn't.
5 people want to hold his dick for him. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, this guy is I've never seen that, you know, like it was actually like being around a real celebrity, basically, like, you know, it's like a movie star. It was insane how people were reacting. So it was cool that I was able to get in there and say hi and take a picture. Yeah, it's kind of the coolest thing that happened.
Nice.
Yeah, I was sad I didn't get to see Flash though, because I need his autograph. I need it. You're
too busy getting pictures with Boxer to ever consider a Flash, dude. Like,
but it's the one thing I need, man. I mean, can't believe I missed the opportunity. I missed this opportunity twice. Just complete my WCS collection. I mean, it's not going to be complete, but to further complete my WCS collection. But what are you going to do
when you complete it? You're going to have nothing to bitch about anymore, man. You have to find something else to complain.
I rarely bitch about this.
No, like, but I mean, like,
this is 1/100th.
No. Don't get me wrong here. I'm not calling you like a bitchy person, but what I'm saying is, like, when it comes to your WCS collection, we never hear, oh, it's so cool, I have these autographs. It's, oh, I need to get these autographs.
Well, that's what happens. They'll be like, yeah, I have these autographs, and they're all like in a frame. That's actually, I think, what Tate did. Is they put it in a frame, and like all the WCS cards, obviously they weren't all signed, but if mine are all signed, then that's when it's awesome. Okay.
Okay, fair play. I finally have everything good to go. We're gonna see if everything crashes upon arrival into the game, but I think I'm all Gucci on my end. So good time buying, stalling skills, Zombie Grub. You did it. Congratulations. Round of applause. Can we get some HTCs in chat, guys? Woo!
Yay!
So while we hop into this first match, I do need to remind everybody that this is actually all on the new map pool. So while Abyssal Reef is being queued up here as the first map, doesn't mean that it's actually going to be the old map pool. So maybe we'll get to see some Catalina. Maybe we'll get to see some, what's that? Interloper, Mech Depot, and
that
Acolyte.
Yeah, start with an A.
Booyakasha.
I was getting there.
Also, I believe BitBus is looking a little bit weird. We'll fix that here in a moment. It's the least of my concerns for all the things that broke today. But we're going to get into this first game. Best of 3 here in the round of 8 for... Oh, I can't close that, apparently. Okay, that's annoying. Well, best of 3 here in the round of 8 for the Corsair Cup Season 7 Finals. That's 7 seasons plus all of last year. The Corsair Cup is bringing you some StarCraft 2, guys. In the top left side, we do have the blue Protoss from Team Liquid. It's MaNa. Woo!
In the bottom right has the red Zerg. He is Dead Pixels, Namshar.
I'm actually really excited Namshar was able to come replace one of our players. For those who don't know, both Nurchio and Showtime are traveling for GSL versus the World, so they were unable to attend to compete today. That being said, Namshar is actually not a bad player, and even though he didn't have nearly as many points as anyone else, he was still able to just barely inch his way here into the replacement bracket. And I think he'll prove to be quite a formidable opponent for MaNa.
I think so. He's just been getting more and more consistent. Better and better. A slow process for sure. No spike of, supreme power from Namshar, but always getting better. And it's definitely around that time that he's gonna actually win, multiple tournaments, because I think he's won 1 or 2 of our online cups. I don't know what else he's been playing in Go for StarCrafts and all that, but yeah, multiple tournaments. There are so many good Zerg though that it is definitely very difficult, and I think he was knocked out most recently in probably the Corsair Cup by Nurchio, the 2-0. But versus MaNa and his EVP, I may even be giving this a little bit to Namshar, just because MaNa, as great as I think he can be, I don't know, sometimes doesn't live up to the potential.
MaNa can do some really cool things though. Like sometimes you'll watch him playing, yeah, it's like that slow death, but he's having like a good fight on his way out. And then sometimes he actually just plays the matchup really clean. But I do agree with you, because I feel like that clean play that I like seeing on MaNa comes a lot less often than I would like.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I don't know, it's not. It's like I keep expecting him to be consistent, and then he's not, so I'm like not really sure to place MaNa right now. But I do think that when he is, I don't know, when he's in the game, when he's on form or whatever you want to say, like he is quite good, like a very clean player that is really good micro and good feel for the game. But yeah, it does happen infrequently. Namshar does sometimes play pretty old school with his styles. It's always such a unique thing to him. It's been pretty consistent for as far as I've known him as a pro gamer. So I don't know if he's gonna do anything weird. What?
There's a phenomenal thing that's happened that I didn't see any updates or releases or patch notes for, but the middle mouse button got fixed. No longer do I have this really annoying cursor in the middle of the screen.
I didn't actually notice if the camera's been fixed.
I would imagine it's not been, if I had to take a wild gander of a guess. But by the way, I guess this is interesting. I don't think Stargate play is super unique to MaNa, and I don't think it's crazy, but it is something where I think I'm more used to seeing MaNa play around like a Warp Prism than an Oracle.
Well, I mean, he does have really good Warp Prism control, and it is awesome to see him use it, but certainly the standard way to... Well, one of the standard ways to play is Oracle. And that's what he decided to do on Abyssal Reef. Namshar, thrown on his Spore Crawlers, also throws down a Roach Warren. And this is, I mean, kind of what I talked about with just Namshar playing a little bit old school. I mean, sometimes he does something like really old, like literally just mass Roach all in off of like 3 bases, very low drone count type thing. Like that's pretty old, even if it is still sometimes effective. But also when it comes to just Roach as a safety, Roach Warren, I feel like a lot of Zergs are trying to skip that, you know? They're cutting these corners and figuring that, you know, speed or even Banelings is a better option because they're going to be using Banelings later on with Hydra Ling Baneling. But Namshar will actually still stick on Roaches, which to me, I feel like they're not phased out of the matchup, but they're not the new cool thing that everyone's doing and that people are complaining about. That's Hydras, basically. Hydras have finally become the staple Zerg unit that they were in Brood War in StarCraft 2.
Yep. Well, the Oracles do get chased off, but not before getting a couple of quick drone snipes. Don't know how much he can really continue doing with this, because they are pretty low, but might just get the queen here. A little bit risky. He'll lose one of the oracles for it? No! Oh, yes. Low ground queen with a snipe.
Something. One oracle still lives. Gotta keep that one alive for Revelation as the game continues on. And MaNa is just gonna have to simply be happy with 5 drone kills. Maybe grab 1 or 2 more here on the edge. No, not even. Yeah, I think he's just gonna have to give up on the idea of this oracle doing any more damage. But he's swimming along here with his macro build. It's Abyssal Reef, so he's really swimming along. And getting a Warp Prism. So a little bit of a extra harassment and something to push, keep Namshar back.
This is really interesting because you got to consider what's coming out of this Warp Prism. There's no Twilight Council, so there's no charge. There's no Resonating Glaives. Like, it's going to be kind of a weak Warp Prism, all things considered. But it's what it's leading into that I find interesting, because he did slap down the Robo Bay.
It's almost well-timed with the Warp Prism. It's almost feels like a disruptor, but, nah.
I really would like the idea of the Colossus here. They've been kind of inching their way back into the TVP matchup, but I'm expecting fully, like, especially with the proposed changes that are not at all confirmed, but trying to make them better versus light units, they're probably going to be the go-to versus all these Hydras that have become so problematic for Protoss players.
Yeah. I personally really hope that it doesn't go through. Not because I'm, like, having trouble with it in PvT or anything salty. I don't know. I think PvC has its struggles, and certainly some of that was the last map pool. But I don't know if I want to go back to Mass Colossus.
I think a lot of it was the last map pool, dude.
Yeah.
Although the question really is, like,
see what it does.
What's worse, an endgame that is that Colossus consistent heavy composition, or is it like the still Golden Armada? Like, Protoss has like really disgusting strong late game options no matter what they go for.
Yeah, but it's always been like, the late game Armada thing has always been a build-up of a game, where Colossus starts pretty early as a build-up. As you can see here, already like one on the way.
Yeah.
And very quickly, if it goes to like 4 Colossus, I don't know, it still isn't as fun to watch, carriers, as much as I don't really like enjoy watching carriers either. Like if they do just get to the late game, nothing happens. That's another issue entirely. It is Colossus, that's kind of the point. Twilight Council was... I was like, it just finished up. It just finished up, so Blink is starting.
Interesting choices, by the way. He didn't try and go for any drone harass, which he certainly could have picked off 2 or 3, but he intentionally went for the creep tumors. I mean, it didn't really do much, because it was these 2 here, but yeah, this is being replaced by Namshar.
It is interesting, because, CVP, I don't think Zergs are thinking I'm going to have multiple queens, because they don't really have to use multiple queens for their early game defense. Or they don't really need to rely on creeps for it either. So it's funny that Protoss would probably be the best at cleaning up creep and having it stay cleaned up, as opposed to when Terran's trying like 5 queens and immediately plant on all the Chief Tumors again.
Oh, that Oracle got a really good scalp, but no revelation, sadly, before dying.
Yeah,
I think actually
another one.
It's very important he starts making another one, because regardless of the Phoenix element here, which I'm kind of confused about, it's more important that he has revelations down than anything else.
Yeah. Roach Hydra Viper, kind of an old staple composition, but does still feel old. So no mid game attack really. We are going straight up to that late game. We have MaNa with 4 bases, Namshar with 5. Both heading on to Storm, Fleet Beacon, and then Namshar with, again, the Vipers, but also it looks to be maybe the potential for a greater Spire as the game continues. I mean, Vipers are very effective if there aren't feedbacks, and, well, there are feedbacks. So I'm not sure if Namshar's army... It's got the size right now, doubling the army supply. If it can make the size work, then fantastic. But as far as the actual compositions go, that's where MaNa will have the lead. Especially as he adds more fodder and more padding to this army.
I mean, as we've seen a lot, one of the problems with the Hydras having the extra health is Storms just barely don't cut it anymore. But you add in like 1 blast of a Colossus attack, and suddenly those extra 5 Hydras are dead after the Storm. I really like the idea of what MaNa's done here. I'm a little sad Charge is a bit late to the party, but all in all, he's got some really good area of effect skills on his side for this.
Namshar is so hesitant to push in here. He wanted to wait for his Vipers, but in doing so, MaNa gets another 20 army supply.
He's got to be careful. Those feedbacks will take out those Vipers. Roach is going in first to try and snipe off the tempo. Is a really good move, but it's eating a lot of damage in the process.
These Vipers need they just needed 2 abducts, and there's 4 of them. They actually go for a blinding cloud and then an abduct.
Oh, he's one feedback short. One feedback short cost him.
Yeah, that cost him a lot there. It's too bad. He has Blink Stalkers now, but
I don't.
With +2.
I don't know.
What
so
about Namshar's Remax?
I think this is so smart for Namshar to fall back from this. He could have really thrown this army away and maybe gotten a few more kills, but he already killed the base. He already killed the 2 Colossus. If he gathers his forces here, I think he ends up being so much better off for this.
Yeah. MaNa losing the 4th base and the important units of his army, the High Templars, the Immortals, the Colossus, is pretty bad. You know, he was not, he wasn't up to that scary 8 Immortal count or 4 Colossus, where if he loses some, at least he still, you know, got others to fall back on. And his Storms also aren't even, they weren't even in reserve either, so he's got to wait 10 more seconds, which it looks like he will have. So he'll probably have 4 Storms when this upcoming battle happens, although some of them will be using the Vipers. But the rest of his important units all got taken out, so he's got to start from scratch again.
Yeah, the other part of this too, not even just for like Namshar's restart, but also, or excuse me, MaNa's restart. Namshar's doing quite well in the macro game here. Still sitting on a lot of drones. He could probably expand right now if he wanted to. He's not feeling pressured to though, because he knows he has the upper hand.
Yeah, there's Storms ready. Talking about, there's like about 4. But the Vipers are coming through here. What are they going to try and do? They actually go for Blinding Cloud again. I was going to say maybe abducting the Immortals.
It's interesting choices. I mean, he kind of has to make some snap decisions. He knows feedback is waiting for him, and he doesn't want to waste the Vipers. So, Blinding Cloud seems like more of a consolation than a choice. Either way, the Vipers aren't going down, and the Templar are, and this is not something we normally see.
Well, Namshar is being attacked in his main base by a large charge cloud warpin. Charge is done, and I do have +2, and this is
all the tech.
Successfully pulling him back. Yeah, all the tech is in the main base. Unlikely all of it will go down, but the most important Greater Spire is going to go down. Namshar is going to have a huge tech lead if he already got up to Broodlords, while MaNa is still recovering from losing that Nexus and that army. He has a fleet beacon. If he's given the time and the minerals to get to Tempest, he will get to it. I think 2 already popped out. Yeah, 1 already popped out. All right, so be it. But still, the point is, like, he is actually successfully getting to the late game. He's weathered the storm almost with the help of Storm on this Warp Prism, which is not gonna die. We already then.
Stalker's kind of on the hunt right now. They could have picked off those Vipers if they're a little out of position. Namshar is actually very much more afraid of MaNa than MaNa is in this situation, despite having Stalkers that are so out of position. But goes to the surround now. Has got that army trapped. Namshar's gonna bleed out here as he tries, or MaNa's gonna bleed out here as Namshar loses a couple Hydras. Nothing too much.
I would say this is fine. It bought some time and it did some mild harassment, but MaNa isn't quite ready with its economy. His 4th base just finished up again, and his 5th base isn't quite done.
The Immortals can take on the Roaches, but the Hydras are still going to be a huge issue. I mean, there's a lot more charge lots, and they're coming up on +3, but one thing we don't normally see a lot of out of Zerg is like high armor upgrades, right? So the Zealots might not be as effective as usual. Normally this is all based on like, you know, +2 melee, +1 range. Rarely do you see +2 armor.
Yeah. And he is continuing with the upgrade, so he's going to have 3-3 on the Hydra as the game continues on.
No, feedbacks are not bad, but the Abducts go off first. Storms land, no Colossus, Immortals doing what they can, same with the Archons, but this army out of Namshar is still pretty good.
Yeah, it's okay, but there's that splash to Colossus and backup Storms, and he couldn't even kill the Immortal that he ended up abducting, and MaNa, he's holding on, and he is getting to a better army if he can get to, well, a good number of Tempests. Namshar, having been delayed on the Greater Spire, is only finishing it up now. His Corruptors are going to be ready to go when he has the supply and the bank to go for Broodlords. But by then, there will be 4 Tempests, maybe more, and a lot of the Storms to cover the ground. It's
really important he actually gets the extra Tempest, too, because there's a guarantee one Abduct's going to go off in at least one of the Tempests, and if you're just even 1 Tempest shy of being able to, like, one-shot down those Broodlords, you're going to have a really bad time. So I like that he's going for extra and not just the bare minimum.
Really sucks that Revelation did not go off. Knowing exactly where the Vipers are trying to position is really helpful. Attacking...
okay.
That's an interesting choice.
Abducting the Templar. So
it's not advisable to do that because they can still get the Storm and the feedbacks off before they die. But you know, in that case, the feedbacks can kill the Vipers and the Storms can go off. So,
well, so an interesting thing about this that's happening in some of you, because it's honestly been a lot. I can't type Boss Glory, Jesus. It's honestly been a very long time since we've seen the dynamic of Templar and Vipers, because you really haven't had Colossus be part of the matchup for a while. And the thing is, like, if you abduct first, you use the energy, and even if you get feedback down to 0, you'll still pull the unit in. And that's what we're seeing with these Templar fights. It's interesting because I'm not sure if this is intentional or it's just working out that way, but Namshar's not keeping high energy on those Vipers. Every time he comes in, it's with barely enough, and maybe it's because of the feedbacks, or maybe it's just coincidence because he's rushing in. Either way, it's kind of cool to see.
Yeah. Ducks and the Tempest are really where the value is in those Vipers, and 2 of them go down. Namshar not skimping on the Corruptors as he makes 10 Broodlords as well, so he's not going to be caught just having them shift-click down, unable to defend them. He's gonna take control of their air.
And this is that problem, you just barely can't shoot down the Broodlords. You know, these Broodlords with 3 Tempests wouldn't push forward like this. With only 2, it's easy. There's a counterattack, and there's Zealots slaughtering units and base on the other side of the map, and maybe this ends up being a really desperate base trade, but right now, MaNa's being pushed back further and further. He's about to lose his new mining base, too. Corruptor's helping Caustic spray it down with the Broodlords.
Yeah, if there are still 5 Tempests taking out these Broodlords slowly but surely, I give a lot to MaNa still, but without the Tempests,
let's focus
he
on
is
the Hive.
going to be pushed back.
Number of Vipers.
He's gonna get the Hive. Not bad.
Maybe slow and steady wins the race. Yeah, exactly. He starts getting them down. A lot of them in the red, getting 1-shot, 2-shot. Not that much on the ground. It's mostly Corruptors in the sky, and that's not that scary. It's the Remax.
Went to deal with the Zealots. The Broodlords were allowed to bathe in storms. They were also blindsided by, I think, a couple of Stalkers blinking in.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really the Tempest so much, but they did get a lot of shots off.
Did he not see this?
While the army went back.
Namshar does have vision of the Warp Prism, but he didn't clean that up on his way out.
Yeah, that kind of sucks. Namshar has to restart his Viper. You know, his Hive died. He did instantly start the lair, so he's going to be getting back up to being able to produce Vipers.
Oh, he picked up.
I don't think he lost Infestation Pit.
I don't know if I like this base. This is so low that another Warp of 4 Zealots could easily take this down.
Yeah, that's a little suspicious. But MaNa, he lost his 5th, but his 4th still has somewhat healthy mining. It was pretty late after all. It was denied once, or twice actually. And the 3rd base still has some mining too. So MaNa is still consistent on his income as he replaces his 5th, already halfway done. The Blink Stalker attack this time grabs a base from Namshar. And Namshar has 3 other bases, 1 on the way, 2 already saturated. Oh, this is nice.
A good catch. This is a really good catch because again, he can't remake these, not yet at least.
Yeah, he's on his way, but that Hive still has yet to start. The other valuable tech did not get taken out, which is like the good news because there were so many Zealots in that main base where so much of the tech was. So Infestation Pit didn't have to be remade. Bayonets ended up finishing up some typical hooks if that was something that Namshar wanted to go for. He has the option that he set up for him, except for building additional Vipers. Charge Lot's going into the 7th? Nope, 6th. Nope, 7th.
Oh, bracket command is wrong. Let me fix that as well, guys. Sorry about that. Thank you for pointing that out, chat. Base getting sniped, though. Yeah, whether it's the 7th, 8th, 9th, it doesn't matter. Bases going down at this point are going to really start hurting these guys' economy. For either of them to make any army at this point to fight the other one, it's going to be so expensive. Replacing Broodlords is not cheap. Replacing Tempest is not cheap. As all these bases continue to fall through these fights, the game gets rougher and rougher. My concern right now, though, Namshar actually may have made too many Broodlords. I really like seeing a Zerg play with 14, don't get me wrong, but his anti-air is going to be a little bit lacking. You gotta consider these Hydras will be stormed down, the Corruptors will take some pepper, and there's not that many of them in the first place, even with the new ones on the way.
Yeah. I mean, it's always a danger. You can just actually make all your Corruptors into Broodlords and try and just burn the Protoss army down and let the rest of the ground army swoop in after and kill it. Or you can really try and play that late game air versus air, but it seems to be more and more of a losing battle for the Zerg player, especially if they can't keep the Protoss' economy down, which MaNa has been able to be consistent with it.
Those are some juicy, juicy storms. But
yeah, they do blanket a lot.
Unfortunately, the Tempests are going to fall by the looks of things. Mothership comes in a little bit late. And this is just not going well. He's going to recall what he can out of this. Not a bad choice. Try and get some more Stalkers in.
just not enough damage, like not quite enough Tempest or not quite enough Storms, like on a ton of units.
Yo, but
one even like getting sniped before being thrown down.
I gotta say though, like this has been like a real sick game to watch. Just like, both Namshar and MaNa played this really well.
Yeah, but it looks like Namshar's just been able to push through a little bit better. MaNa, he was getting to a really good army. He had Storms, Archons. He was getting to that mothership. It was a little bit late, and that may have been a big difference. Something else that the Corruptors could target down instead of the Tempest.
Oh no, Warp Prism.
No more counterattacks, and MaNa without a 5th base.
Yeah.
Definitely can't remake this army.
MaNa tried to do something cool towards the end there. I mean, this is over at this point. But he's trying to kill the Overseers, and I think this was very much intentionally so that he could get that mothership to be kind of overpowered, right? No detection, no way to fight. But unfortunately, as we see a lot of these Overseers just barely dead, and that focus fire and the storm just wasn't enough.
Yeah. So many Corruptors, it must look really tempting for MaNa to stay in the game and just hope he can't make Brood Lords again.
He actually can't even kill them. They could caustic spray everything down underneath like fire from cannons and stalkers, and still they'd kill the base first.
Yeah. GG.
Game 1. Game 1 goes to Namshar. Very well done. We got a cha-ching there during that game. Diet Soda. Diet threw in $20. Thank you very much. And in the process, bought everybody in chat 5 mystery bags. So by all means, please type !mystery bag and claim your loot. And all hail the new bit boss. Thank you, Diet. Enjoy your time up there, brother. We had some subs coming during that game too, so we'll get game, during that game as well. And while we get game 2 up, big thank you to Kess31 for the brand new sub. Mega Man Red for 25 months says, woo, StarCraft with the best casters. Yeah, fuck yeah. Bangdoza for 10 months is 22 to go. I'm not sure what he's aiming for here, but that's a high number and I like it. Phoenix42 for 19 months comes back to say base trade never die. Dares resubs for 11 months to say I fixed it. Grim was a brand new sub with Twitch Prime, which means I'm going to quickly shout out and remind everybody, Twitch Prime does not auto-renew once a month. You should definitely take a moment to check and see if you can sub for free with Twitch Prime. If you do it to us, obviously we'll love you a lot, but of course just remember to use it in general. And if you got Amazon Prime, you might not realize you already have Twitch Prime. You can connect your accounts over on twitchprime.com. Wardy hits us up with 18 months after a ton of travel, and guys, if you didn't already, salute and F to pay your respects to his sub count. That dude's been traveling for like a month straight. Although, I know how much WCS casters get paid, so Wardy, I don't feel that bad for you. But, give some respect to Wardy in chat, guys. Firefighting Freak with a Twitch Prime sub comes in. And last but not least, we've got Oak Warrior for 25 months saying meow. Thank you very much. Also, ooh, my map guy has said today he should be uploading all the new map intros for me to edit. Ooh.
Cool.
Of course, I told him don't do Catalina because everybody wants the old school one, so we'll leave it be. I actually have it queued up should we find that map today. But we are in Game 2 here in the round of 8 for the Corsair Cup Season Finals. If you guys want to see more of this tournament and more tournaments like this, make sure to support the sponsors. I just shout out Twitch Prime, and without Twitch, we wouldn't actually have a Season Finals. But of course, we wouldn't have the tournament at all if it weren't for Corsair either. So click those affiliate links down below. Check out their gear. They just actually came out with some new stuff, as well as, I don't know if there's still a sale going on. They've had like sales non-stop over the last month. Between 5 and 20% off on this, that, and the other. So be sure to check out the Corsair site, guys. But Spawn here, top left, after a very hard-fought battle, still managed to lose, but he's hanging in there. It's Team Liquid's MaNa.
In the bottom right as the red Zerg, it is Dead Pixel's Namshar.
And I got excited about the mouse fix, and then it's happening again. Why? Are you getting it too?
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
It's just that last game.
Why would it be map specific?
Okay, I've got a theory here. Are you ready? This is a good Rifkin theory. You know how viscosity works, right? Like if you pour oil into a cup of water, the oil will always float to the top type thing.
Okay.
So the mouse might just have like a denser viscosity than water, which is why it sinks underneath the Visual Reef and we don't see it floating on top of the screen. But with Ascension to Ire, it's actually lighter, therefore stays on top. Science.
It just stays. I mean, it just disappears though. Like, I mean, that's not.
It disappears
I don't think it works, but it
underneath
just
the
disappears.
map. Like it's still there, just underneath.
But
the
only
map.
when you press a button.
Well, it's technically always there until you press the button. It's like when you take that glass of water and oil and you shake it up. No matter what you do, it will always reset to the same place, right? Just like the mouse always resets to the middle of the screen.
I would love that theory if it wasn't for the fact that the arrow shows up otherwise. And so you press a button.
Well, the arrow will always show up. This is what I'm saying. You can always see the oil in the water. It's just a matter of whether it's above or below. Viscosity.
Yeah, you're saying that it should always be below. It's like the oil. So
Look, it sounded pretty plausible. Let's just roll with it, okay?
Doesn't quite, but I like the idea.
This at least has more logical merit to it than some of our other theories.
I'll give you that much. Like that, you know, I could see where you're going with that one. You know, like a water map. Like I get you, I got you. Why would it be map specific? Why would it? What programming? I don't understand.
I still don't understand how they broke it in the first place. They're like, here's a patch to introduce new skins.
Okay.
Now you also get a mouse skin where it doesn't ever go.
I feel like they also don't know. Like, I mean, you hear all the jokes that programmers make about themselves, but then I think it's really real about StarCraft.
Dude, ETA on mouse skins, by the way, the cursor, like, that would be dope.
Oh, I was like, is there an ETA? Like, what are you talking about? This seems really...
No, like, everyone's like all excited about these new skins for the war chest and blah, blah, and I'm just like, yo, when can I have my cursor look like a BaseTradeTV shield or something, you know? Like... Because we see the cursor more than anything else. It's used to highlight things.
Yeah, that's true. I'll take that one would be the last on my list of things that I want skins for.
I wonder if Nice Username could mod that.
I want overlay skins before we get mouse cursor skins.
Oh, I play the game for real. I'm Zombie Grub.
Well, you could have the observer overlays too, whatever, man.
No, I'm actually totally on board with you. I remember there was a while ago some guy released like a bunch of free packet skins. There's like Terran overlays, Zerg overlays, and they always look really good. And you're like, as nice as that is for the stream, the player never gets to actually see it.
Yeah. Oh well. It happened in the future, along with all the other bugs that we're gonna have to deal with. Because I also confirmed like the observer bug still isn't fixed. So doesn't just make any sense. Like the Abyssal was broken, and then it's like one of the old maps. Why would it be fixed of all things? Whatever.
Chat seems to really like my scientific approach to things.
Well, I am interested in MaNa's approach to this game. It's called a segue. As he did go for 2 base, charge, Templar Archives, still holding off on that 3rd.
I am not a learned man, and I will just admit that I did confuse viscosity with density. Although it does have something to do with the description of where I was going, it was not the right word, and I would like to thank chat for reminding me that I am a dunce.
None of us did very well in science.
Oh, this was, well, none of MaNa's oracles did very well there. He could have killed the queen, he could have killed the drones, but he got kind of greedy going for both, mixed the shots, took the spore crawlers, and lost both oracles already. This is not a good start for MaNa.
Well, it's really terrible, actually, I would say. Like, because I'm not sure what... I'm not sure if his follow-up's going to be that effective. You know, these oracles definitely could have been a little bit more annoying. They're not really ever going to tilt a Zerg player so badly they're going to mess up their macro. Not at this stage of pro play anyway, but certainly they would try and distract some of the units, as well as just see what the opportunity looks like for MaNa to continue with this. Archon drop with probably a huge charge that warping is going to have... okay, no, 8 gateways. Yeah, 8 gateways, maybe timing out with this too. That's a lot of power right there. But he's not going to know quite what he's running into when he might just warp in, suddenly bailing to speed roll, and he's like, okay, I should not have warped in, you know?
Yeah, there's quite a bit waiting for him, which is going to be rough. But, I don't know, there's a chance Namshar messes up this engagement too. With 2 Archons on the front line, you can certainly soak those hits.
He knows what's happening. He saw what was like still a little bit of a delayed 3rd, especially for like a Stargate opener, and then he got in there with an Overseer just now and saw all the gateways and the tech. So I think this early of a Temple Archives, you know.
Oh no! He charges into the banelings!
Well, that's disappointing.
Like, there was this situation, honestly, where he gets to the front line first with the Archons, and they soak the hits, and they zone everything up, then the charge lots come in. Like, unfortunately, none of that went according to plan. MaNa's going to possibly lose both the Archons as well, if not the Warp Prism. He's got to fall back.
All right. That was a nice save with the Archons and the Warp Prism, but there's there's a chance that happens, and it's a more effective trade, but really, Namshar was preparing for an attack, and that in itself wasn't that great of a start for MaNa.
What's kind of interesting too is I'm looking at the resources lost. I'm a bit astonished. I'm like, wait, MaNa just got demolished, but of course it was mineral costs for gas costs. So maybe it wasn't the worst in the world. It wasn't good. Not gonna pretend like it was.
Well, yeah. Well, we'll see. Like, Namshar is still waiting for his Hydra to come out here, but once again, the charge lots charging in. It's what they do to those Banelings. And the Archons, they really are doing a poor job of soaking the Banelings.
Dude, what if the balance designers are like really sick Zerglings? Like, look, we can't possibly justify giving Zerglings like a leap, but what if we gave other units a way to jump to us, to the Zerg, to the Banelings?
You know, I don't
we'll
think
call it charge.
I'm pretty sure they weren't thinking about that when they made charge. They were like, this will be a great way for them to attack on the roaches.
There was a couple players, actually, it was funny during HOTS, because there was still this dynamic, not as big as it is today, but they would actually intentionally not go charge. And this is back before charge had damage to it, of course, but like they would not go charge because they didn't want to charge into Baneling's head first. And I always thought it was silly, but it's moments like that where I'm like, maybe it's not so crazy. Like, it's not...
It's really unfortunate because MaNa, like, none of his game plan worked out. His oracles didn't continue the pressure or the scouting they were supposed to, so that he could properly set up his army in a better position, or like not do the attack at all, really, if he thought he couldn't. And then, you know, he never even like interrupted Namshar's flow. Namshar was at like 60 drones and he defended the first attack, so that really wasn't any skin off his back for making that many lings and banelings. He was just prepared while having a good macro game, and the same thing happened for the second attack. He was just prepared while having a really good macro game. 5 bases, 75 drones. So now he can just put everything into army, and MaNa, he's getting to Storm, okay, and that's good, but he's not quite there yet, and he just doesn't have much of an army to help protect. Or even, like, you know, utilize that storm damage.
Okay, but as Storm completes, the problem is he just warps in across the map, and he doesn't actually have anything at home. So my concern is, like, let's say he does land all these storms, what cleans up the Hydras? What gets those final hits? He's coming in on the back end with his army, though. All the Banelings on the front side, I mean, there's nothing to catch these from behind, and these charge lots might actually get to connect for once. And they do, and they clean up a lot of the Hydras.
They are cleaning up the Hydras, but 27 probes went down while this happened, and Namshar, as I said, 5 bases, 75 drones. There's a bit of panic moment, as always, when you lose your army like that, but he still has time. A lot of lings already made, could just easily turn into banelings and at least stall out MaNa if he did try and counter. But he's got time to maybe make all those Hydras go in for round 2 when MaNa is starting to run out of minerals in his main. He needs a 4th base.
You know, the 4th base ever more important too, because he is relying a lot on gas units. Like, minerals are kind of whatever if you're considering zealots, but you really can't keep warping in Templar and sentries and all the things you really need as core units. Just a side note, by the way, looks like Hero Marine's opponent did not show today, so the winner of this will go on to fight against him in the semis. I'll discuss that more after, because there was some kerfuffle regarding it, but overcharges, couple of zealots, the links are just running rampant over here. If it wasn't for this attack in the main, Namshar would have gone in and killed that 3rd, but looks like the Warp Prism came across the map. It could possibly force field the ramp, but the sentry's not paying attention. Kind of like attacking an extractor and an egg now. Oh, it's not a very smart sentry.
Yeah, I mean, this late of a sentry force field on the ramp is certainly unexpected, but it doesn't matter how big it could have been.
I'll force field. I'll do my job.
11 drones went down, but that's really it, and a temporary pause in the attack. MaNa, you know, he managed, with the lings running in like that, he managed to save his economy okay, but he did take a chunk of army losses. They were +2.
The ability to bring Namshar's army back is actually really impressive, though, because I thought Namshar was on such a roll, there's no way he'd turn around. If it was a base trade, he'd win it, like that sort of thing. But baited back, gave MaNa time to breathe, gave him time to recover. I don't know about the 4th base necessarily being up and running, but it's looking not bad. With storms going the way they are, they're hitting pretty well. And without armor this game, charge lots were doing a ton of damage.
Namshar could be in trouble.
Yeah,
he doesn't have a huge bank because he is trying to get to a greater spire.
Well, so I'm looking at a lot of his bases, and we're talking about gas for MaNa, but maybe the same problem for Namshar. Without having taken these extra extractors, there's like 6 open geysers where he could have been having a lot more like gas banked up. That's better hydro production, more banelings, easier broodlords.
He adds on gas now as he's starting to transition to hive, but he's been keeping his minerals and gas. Oh, okay, he's adding a gas, but like I was gonna say, he's keeping his minerals and gas really even, so I don't think that was necessarily too much of a problem.
Well, I don't think it's a detriment. It's just, for me, thinking the course of the game, though, right? Like, he's trading out banelings for zealots. He's losing hydras to storms. Like, all things considered, Namshar's behind in resources lost, and a lot of it's, like, inefficient gas trading. And that's the only reason I bring up the gas in this scenario. Because I think otherwise, you'd have a lot more and a lot, I guess, better use of it to this point.
Well, it's still a situation where MaNa could definitely bring back the game with a lot of storms. Namshar being a little too aggressive with the fights, thinking that he's going to win, he's about to win, and takes 2 storms to the face, and he's in trouble. But he's playing smart. He could have maxed out. He could have maxed out on Hydra, Baneling, Ling, and just dodged and weaved his way around the Protoss storms and the charge lots. But that's a pretty dangerous way to play, especially if you can't like get instantly maxed out. Getting to a greater spire is probably smarter. MaNa's not really going to be able to super get to late game himself, only having recently developed that 4th base.
So MaNa is paying attention for this, by the way. I was wondering if he was going to catch this Bane Rain or not. It's going to be a really nice drop on the mineral lines, but cannons are set up. Mothership core overcharged. He knows that this was coming. Might not know about this one, though, and this is the more important one. This is where the new base is. You can't really afford to lose these probes.
Yeah.
Ooh, MaNa's army getting AI'd as well. He's got to be careful not to split like that. He knows it too. Some small drops going to be going on, taking out the new bases. Both players just looking for economic trades, I guess. Armies are stalled out in the middle of the map.
As long as Namshar doesn't lose his army in one huge clump of an engagement and gets instantly counterattacked, like, he should be good to go. And splitting up like this is going to keep MaNa really busy.
Death rains from above. Family's rolling in too. This base is probably going to go down. He's taking a new one, so maybe this will be okay.
He could have. He wasn't targeting the Nexus initially,
so
maybe he could save it.
Oh, that Bailey just got like 8 probes. 23 dead. Yikes.
That was pretty good. That Nexus, so that hatchery, not everyone to take it down, but his Nexus maybe is really going to be saved.
This is actually horrible because the problem is everything that happened down here came as a consequence of MaNa going across the map, putting his attention up there, putting his warpins up here, trying to kill the space that he doesn't even ultimately end up killing. So it's all of these losses for naught, and that's gotta like morally be defeating right there.
At least he kept that 4th base alive. He's going to be on 5 times probe production, and while he's not banking minerals to instantly do that, he is still at a stable probe count. Once you dip below 40 in a late game scenario, that's scary. Once you dip below 20, that's like probably you're not ever going to recover your economy. But like 45, 50, like that's respectable. So he's continuing the slow grinds to come back in this game. And he's gotten to a good army. Namshar.
Oh, Templar. Oh, just barely does it. Oh my god.
It's too bad. But Namshar, he's trying to get to a greater spire to have that real counter to this army, but currently his army isn't a true counter. It actually can be very susceptible to the storms and the Archons. But there's no warpism for charge shots. Like, this is just an army that eventually is going to get withered away.
Yeah, no warpins, period.
It was a good army, and it was only 20 army supply down, but the storms, they weren't that plentiful, and just like a huge concave for Namshar. GG.
That looked like MaNa was like on the road to bring it back. I think if he had a Warp Prism with that army, that may have been a different end. But he just, from the start of the game to finish, man, he was taking bad trades. It was rough. It was tough.
Yeah.
All right, so it looks like top half of the bracket, we got a TBT with Alive versus Keen. Korea. Bottom side's Hero Marine versus Namshar. We're going to do Hero Marine Namshar first, I guess, because Hero Marine has been just waiting to play. And I know the poor guy is streaming, and I don't want to leave him hanging for too long. So we're going to go to commercial break. When we get back, it'll be the first of 2 best-of-5 semifinals. Stick around, guys. We'll see you soon.